Should we do an intro thing like, hey everybody, welcome to...
I'm...
Yeah, should we do that? Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to Magicians Talking Magic. My name is Graeme / Graeme.
And I'm Ryan Joyce /
Joyce.
Juicy Joyce.
Juicy Joyce.
Today on Magicians Talking Magic, we're going to cover a bunch of things in the news in Reddit, there's TV magic news, and of course we're going to discuss some promotional stuff, marketing stuff, business cards.
And we were even involved in a recent magic trick release.
That's right.
Pretty cool. We have an exclusive story on that whole thing, which is very exciting. So this is going to be a fun episode.
All right, let's dive in, because there's some TV exciting news. I haven't actually got to see the whole series yet, but Magic for Humans 2.
Magic, yeah, that's exciting that they got Justin Willman is
So
in
great.
for season 2 of Magic for Humans.
The first one was so creative.
So creative. It's got to be like the best thing out there on Netflix right now for magic, if you want to watch magic.
What would you say your favorite moment in the first series was?
It's hard to pick. There's 2 favorite moments, and I bet they're like kind of everybody's favorite moments.
Yep.
The one is the invisible guy, right?
Yes,
Where he makes the
yep.
guy think he's invisible. That
was priceless.
hilarious.
Priceless.
And the kids with the marshmallows.
Right, of course.
The kids with the marshmallows
Yep.
bit. And if you haven't seen this, you have to get on Netflix. Don't stop this. Finish it, and then watch it. But yeah, you have to check out these episodes. It's so good.
I have the last one to see. I left on a ship and I didn't download it in time. But the one that sticks out for me is without a doubt is the kid in the marshmallow thing, because it was like that piece of magic. That moment really said like we're willing to do just about anything to anybody.
Right.
But obviously kid friendly. That's what I loved about that, is it made a statement.
Yeah.
Those kids were very much bewildered, and I'm a little bewildered on some of it too, truthfully.
I don't know how everything works. I know he has had a super creative team working on it. I know he's got at least Kyle Marlette helping him.
Does he? Oh, that's
he's
great.
He's got a huge creative force working on the show. So, when you have all these people working on that, you're going to have amazing tricks. I think they're also cleverly using the fact that it's on television.
Yeah.
Right? They're really taking that to their advantage. And it's not in a weird way, kind of like what you traditionally see with maybe the David Blaine or the Chris Angel, where you're starting to think, are those people in on it?
Right.
Or have they cut a new shot in?
You can tell it's raw.
It's raw, but there might have been, maybe something happened before.
Right.
Or something. Who knows? But it's a pretty amazing show to watch.
It's all about the reactions. That's what makes it fun. I mean, the reactions of this incredible magic, because the stuff he's doing is really great. The other visual that stands out now that I'm going back through it is the levitation and the yoga mindfulness thing.
Yeah.
That was so great.
Yeah, that was perfect.
How perfect was that?
I also love Magic for Susans.
Yeah, it's just fun to say. I find myself saying it just randomly throughout the day.
My mom's name is Susan.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. Home run right there.
Nailed it. Magic for Georges.
Moving along in other news, unfortunately, legendary magician Don Wayne has passed.
Yeah, this was quite a shock.
Right. Yeah. He was labeled by Magic Magazine as one of the most influential magicians in the past 100 years.
Yeah, I mean, looking back through his history, it was just incredible to see the things that he has been responsible for. I mean, these are big ones too, like pretty much anything major Copperfield. So Statue of Liberty, walking through the Great Wall of China, escape, from Niagara Falls, all that, floating over the Grand Canyon, Don Wayne. 18 years as a magic consultant. So, wow.
And he worked with like all the greats. On top of it, he worked with like Hans Klock and Siegfried and Roy and everybody. So like all that stuff. I mean, I guess for anyone in the right demographic that saw those 90s, 80s, early 2000s magic specials, witnessed the creative mind of Don Wayne.
Brilliant.
And I honestly, to be honest, everyone knows about Don Wayne, the floating ball. That's like his claim to fame, I think, in the magic community out of all the creations.
Yep.
And you would see various magicians, like Matt DeCero was posting a thing on his Facebook wall, like in memory of Don. But I never knew that he was actually that involved with Copperfield. I wasn't that aware. So when we were doing our research, it was fascinating to learn all this. Yeah. And to see how many things he's actually touched. 17
television specials. And I remember it was over 800 weeks of international touring.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of time in a plane.
Mm-hmm. Out of those Copperfield specials, those big grand illusions, like the Statue of Liberty, walking through the Great Wall, the Orient Express, these big ones, Do you have a favorite of those?
Well, you know what? Like the Statue of Liberty was exciting for me, but because I came in so much later in this, like in the scale of David Copperfield, I came in really the first one I remember was the Orient Express. So in that era, it was almost impossible to track down a VHS tape of David Copperfield when there was no other magicians in my family. You know, there was nobody that was actively a magic fan. So it took me a couple of years before I actually saw that illusion. So when I actually got to see it, it was really exciting, you know, because by that point I had been many years in the industry, like as a kid, and really excited. And you hear all the hype and everything, but you know, to see it with your own, you know,
it's unbelievable.
Just, yeah, it's just crazy to think.
I've always enjoyed the Great Wall, walk through the Great Wall, because it's
so brilliant,
so impossible.
Right.
Like there's so much, I mean, the theater of it, there's so much wall either which way. And
the reactions, that when the dolly shot, the camera goes up and over and you can see the people hustle over because it was just so great. They really, Copperfield nailed the filming of everything he did.
Right.
And I'm sure that's because he had people like Don Wayne behind the camera and in that side of it, the behind the scenes that we don't really get to see.
Right. Yeah. You never know about all these crews in the mine. I mean, you start to learn about it now because the internet's available, but you never knew about who was helping out with all these things.
That's right. And Jim Steinmeier, I've met. Jim Steinmeier is another magic creator who's legendary and created a lot of things for Copperfield. And of course, Daniel Summers creates some incredible illusions. But outside of that, there's really not a lot of bigger magic thinkers.
Right. Yeah. I guess like Franz Ferrari.
He's a
classic.
Yeah,
you do illusions. I'm so unfamiliar with illusions because I only do close-up illusions.
Well, I don't even do illusions anymore. Like I do, of course, because I'm paying to store them. But I feel like most of my stuff is out of a solo briefcase. But yes, I definitely have a lot of road time with illusions.
I'm uneducated on illusions.
Yep.
Do those great minds that you just discussed, have they made some of your stuff? Some of the things that you do in your
Daniel Summers has made a lot of the illusions in the show, things like Instant Babe, which I just loved. It was a great way to do an appearance without a box.
Right.
Because I've never been a big fan of the box style. I was definitely on the more modern front, so I was really fussy about my material, and Dan always created really innovative, like magic props that weren't so magic-y.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Dan, and compressed, and he just had a lot of really great innovative thoughts.
Who makes Eclipse? Whose illusion is Eclipse?
That was Mark Halen and Ginger's originally. They changed the overall visual as I understand it, and then remarketed it with this visual, but how they presented was something totally different.
Right.
Which I never have gotten to see Carnival Wonders. I would love to see.
Oh, it looks so incredible. All the promotional videos and everything like that.
The shot that I just still remember is that the backdrop gets sucked up into a book or whatever it is. It was just, it would be. I've never seen Mark Halen and Ginger live.
I only remember them like the World's Greatest Magic, right?
Oh, with incredible.
The tiger and the necklace.
Both of them are so captivating. They've got such a ooze personality. They're great.
Yeah, total show people.
Yep. I was flipping through Reddit is that the adjective you use there? Flipping through Reddit? Scrolling.
Through, dialing through.
And I was struck by, there was a really creative promotional photo that I thought was really, really great. And I'm a big fan of this kind of stuff. In fact, I follow a couple photographers who create, I would just pose it as like basically promotional photos of themselves. There's one guy from Canada, actually out west, that I follow, and he just miniaturizes himself in all sorts of incredible settings. And so when I saw this Reddit photo, I thought, how clever for somebody to take that, a new interesting stance at magic.
Right.
And he's basically reaching into a top hat, and the hand is coming down through the top of the frame and pulling him out of frame. It's great. It's just a great.
And he's got bunny ears on.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's like he's pulling himself. It's this meta kind of thing.
Yep.
Now, when you told me about this, I thought we were talking about the same thing, but I had seen something different.
Oh.
I saw, it was a video, and I'm pretty sure it was posted on Facebook somewhere.
Okay.
It was being shared in the magic community but you see a guy with like a derby hat or a bowler hat, and he's looking at the hat, and out comes a hand, like a paw, and grabs him and pulls him into the hat, and then out he comes out of a hat, and there's an audience of rabbits, and the magician is a rabbit.
Oh my God, I haven't seen this.
Complete role reversal, but it's hilarious to tap into. Like, if you're pulling a rabbit out of a hat, which is like the magic cliche,
right?
Like, is there a vortex in there of bunnies? Like,
was it like rough, shaky footage, like it was done on a phone, or was it like professionally shot?
The first part seems just like it's standard, like, yeah.
I'd love to see this.
Maybe on your cell phone, and then it goes into like it's graphics, I think. After
okay.
Yeah, like computer graphics.
Because there's that one, everybody does this shot now, where the person's holding the photo, and then they reach into the photo, and that person pulls them into the photo. It's just a real quick edit, and well, I mean, it's free. You got a keyframe, but
sure, yeah.
But everyone seems to be doing that lately. So it's I'd love to see that. I wish we could get a copy of that.
Yeah, well, fine. Do you think maybe if someone out there knows where this came from, if they can like link it to us so we can share? Because I honestly don't remember where I saw it, and maybe I made it up in like a fever dream.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because you just had your teeth pulled, right?
I just had all my wisdom teeth taken out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're like a couple ounces lighter.
A couple ounces lighter.
Yeah.
Loaded up with T3s and everything. Buzzing like a bunny.
Beep boop. I don't know why I default to the beep boops.
Beep boop, dee boop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the sounds of the teeth
RJD2?
falling out on the floor.
RJD2.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. RJD2, yeah. So some exciting news on Penguin.
Penguin Magic. So if you were to check out the top 10 releases in Penguin right now, I don't know if it's number 1 anymore because everything's being released all the time.
Yep.
But right up there is this new Paul Harris effect called Deep Clear.
And we know a little bit about this.
We know a little bit about this trick because we have some sort of weird insight on the whole thing. We got to do production work with Paul and help put together the whole trailer and a little bit of tutorial and stuff for the whole trick and everything. It's fascinating that I managed to, through connections in the magic world, I think it was Josh Janowski, suggested me to Paul to help work on some video things. And
that's great.
As like a fan of magic growing up, born in the 80s, growing up in the 90s, you gravitate to specific teachers in magic, especially if you're in Toronto. So in Toronto, if you were to go to the Browser's Den of Magic, Jeff at the Browser's Den will probably recommend Jay Sankey, right? You'll get a Jay Sankey trick.
I don't know anybody that wouldn't recommend Jay Sankey.
Right, yeah. So you start off with Jay Sankey, you get a funny videotape or you get one of his tricks, but then you're like, really, you become a fan of Jay because he's really fun, he's empowering, he makes magic seem easy to learn and everything. And then if you're into Jay and you really start learning magic, the next time you go to the shop and you say, I'm ready to take the next step, what probably is suggested is Paul Harris. Or you've also learned about yourself because Jay talks a lot about Paul too. Like Jay's really influenced by Paul Harris as well.
His books are incredible.
So creative, like so poetic, all the tricks and everything. And
Art of Astonishment. We'll leave links because it should be included on everybody's.
Yeah, everyone should have all 3 Art of Astonishments. There's Close-Up Seductions. He's got so many books out there that are
now I figured, like, when you got asked about this original, I figured a little envelope wrapped in leather would arrive, right?
Yeah.
And there'd be a hooded character that hands it to you, right? And it had the initial or the signature on it, and you open it up and it says invitation to work with, Paul Harris.
Written on like handmade paper.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of dust.
With like a quill
wafts
pen.
out of
you
it.
can see
Yeah.
all the pressure points that he wrote.
I figure that is how it happened, right?
That is 100% how it happened. Yeah.
True statement. You heard it right here on Magicians Talking Magic.
Yeah. So if you're waiting to work with Paul, when you get that fancy envelope, that's the sign.
No weather changes or anything before.
I can't talk about that part.
Sorry.
That's the part you can't talk.
But it's a great trick. Yeah, and you should check it. We'll leave the
so the trick
trailer.
The trick is dynamite. You helped film the demo.
We had a beautiful day in fall last year, and we in Guelph University got to roam around and do magic on
pretend to be students.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. We kind of hopefully Guelph doesn't see this, but I think no one will from Guelph. But it was fun because we just kind of ambushed the students there, and I think we pitched it as, so this is like a good tip if you're filming a product for a trick, right? We went in there and we just said, hey, my name is Graeme /Gramazing, because that's how I'm going to introduce myself all the time. And we presented like, I have a brand new magic trick that I want to share with the world. It might end up on YouTube. It's going to end up online. Are you okay with being in the video? By that point, you'd be recording. We get all this on tape so that we have that confirmation, everything. And then I'd
Right.
present Paul's trick. And this trick it's a really good effect. It's a full routine. You get a cute little magic trick at the start,
Yep.
right? That kind of breaks the ice,
Yep.
helps bring people in.
An opener.
An opener, a perfect opener, followed by an incredible mentalism piece that you do close up where you're predicting someone's thought of word, and it's on the back of playing cards that you had clearly in a wallet the entire time. It's really a takeoff his original Deep Astonishment.
The reactions during all of the filmings was solid. Like every one of them was. That
Super
one
crazy.
on the bench when we were filming the group at the bench, it was great.
Yeah.
Total authentic, just like totally fried.
And when we'd ask them, like, how do you think it happened? A lot of people are like, I don't know, maybe you tapped into my brain somehow. And that's, if you're doing this kind of stuff, that's the reaction you're aiming for.
Right.
I've seen some comments online of people questioning the routine. Like, I don't get this first part to get there. But if you really analyze any of Paul's work, it's all kind of cute and fun, and then becomes so amazing. Because to get to that amazing part, like on stage, you got to like build rapport with the audience and everything. You can't just go, "Who was the first person you kissed?"
Right.
Right. It's so that's creep show.
Right.
That's creep show. It's a well-structured routine.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
It gets everyone on your side, and then you reveal the incredible magic word, and then everyone's floored. It's perfectly set up. I mean,
Great piece.
It's Paul, so right.
Yeah, great piece.
Yeah, totally.
It was so much fun to film. I enjoyed being part of that.
Yeah, yeah. And it's fun to get to talk magic with Paul, because I remember we talk about the routine and talk about the editing of the trailer and everything like that.
Yep.
And I would bring up ideas like, well, what do you think about this? Should we show that? And Paul would be like, well, let's talk about that. And, you know, as a kid that grew up on his books, they're like, I'm chatting magic philosophies with Gandalf right now.
Right now, live.
Yeah.
On the phone.
Yeah. So that was a real treat. Super cool that we got to do that. I highly suggest the trick. I think it's an awesome trick.
Yeah, Penguin, check it out.
Yeah, yeah. And you got to give it at least a couple good performances.
We're not affiliated with Penguin. We're just...
There's no affiliation with any of this. Like,
No.
we are done with the project. There's no reason to do this. We just want to talk about it. I think it was really
great
cool.
piece, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We'll definitely include it in the show notes so you can see the video.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's talk about business cards. I don't have a business card, but I know I should.
It's so weird that you don't have a business card. I don't know why you don't have a business card.
I know. Well, on the ship, I have no need.
I guess so.
I mean, those people aren't really booking entertainment, and if they do, they connect with me through the website,
Social media and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah.
But I should have one. This is not an excuse. I mean, I should absolutely have a business card. Well, so what do you think the key essential things to include on a business card are?
So I know there's a whole lot of philosophy on what you should have on a business card. Some people think you should have your photo so they remember your face after. Maybe you do a tent business card so you can get like quadruple the amount of information. I don't think you need a picture of yourself necessarily, because hopefully they've seen you, they get you. If they've asked for your business card, they should have an idea of who you are. I think the key ingredients, what you definitely need to have on the business card, would be like your logo, but not even a logo, because we talked about just a typeface that says your name clearly, what you represent, your phone number, your email, website, and probably just like the social media you use the most. Because you don't want to kill it with so much information. Just keep it really reduced and simple, I think.
Right.
So I encourage people to go to Instagram. I think right now Instagram is probably the most correctively used social media, maybe. Like, people are actually engaging on it, where Facebook is littered with ads and,
right,
shenanigans like that. So I think I just post my Instagram on there, and from there you'll find the rest of my social media. I think it's the easiest one to tap into, though, from someone's phone.
That's a good, because all of my handles are the same. Are all your handles pretty much the same?
Yeah, they're pretty much pretty much the same.
I never know what to do with that, but it does seem that everyone is leaning towards Instagram. At least that's the first one they can just instantly scroll and see. Instantly.
It's Instagram amazing.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah.
I now have a business card for the festival, but I don't have one for my own self. I always thought if someone was that interested, I would take their number.
Right.
And then, because then I had the power.
Well, I always say, we talked about this in the other episode too, but we'll take the business card and keep it, because you want to follow up with them personally. Or I've even had people write their number on my business card. I keep my own, with the number.
Right.
Because I want to get that business or try and follow up as much as I can. Another thing I had on the business card, and I heard this from Lou Serrano, is like, he's really big into like corporate magic and all big into SEO. He's got tons of podcast episodes there all over the place, but he talks about putting social proof on there. So like a quick review or testimonial. I just do one, which would be like the biggest highlight for me. So it's like a local TV host.
Right.
And his comments, it's just hugely entertaining. It's really small and simple, but then it says local TV station, his name. And for the most part, the people that I'm performing for will recognize that. They know what that is.
Right.
Another thing I do, but it's because I'm a graphic designer, I change the design on mine every 500 business cards out of personal boredom.
Sure, I agree with you.
Yeah, but then it seems
and
like
it's so cheap nowadays.
It's very cheap. I do Vistaprint.
That's where I go to. I mean,
the quality is actually pretty good as long as
it's so fast too.
If you design your files correctly,
right?
You only need a JPEG.
Right.
But as long as it's
again, no affiliation, just this is what we use.
It's just common.
Yeah. So I got new banners for the festival, a little tablecloth and everything's great.
Yeah. I've been making banners for markets and everything, and I think like friend of the show Scott Boyd does the same thing too. Vistaprint.
I'd be curious to talk. In addition to this, I would be curious to know what kind of marketing stuff you have separately that you've created or printed, and you as well. Like what kind of things are you using in your business? I've got for the festival. I just had the tablecloths printed. It just looks pro.
Yeah.
A couple banners that I have for my own for Magic and Hypno. So when they walk into the theater, there's a nice little visual splash. Outside of those rack cards and things, business cards. What else do you use?
For me, so lately I've been doing a lot of postcard things because it's all the promos.
Postcards.
And what I'm doing is, because we're running a lot of local theater shows and things in town and around town. So I have, basically all I did was I printed them out myself because they're pretty disposable and quick. Cardstock, 8.5 by 11 poster, reduced in the corner, 4, cut, and then you have all these handouts. So I promote all the shows, the local shows that way. I'm involved in like a sketch comedy show, so that's there. The secret shows that we run and everything like that are there. And then I have one that also promotes if someone wants that hard sale, like, the corporate events, the wedding, the close-up block, I have one for that too.
Right.
Specific for that. And then just my business card kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I always think it's important too with your business card, once it's finished and designed, before it's printed, like hold it from a distance and see like what jumps out at you, because really you want it to say your name and what you do. And the phone number is like, no one's going to instantly see phone number from a distance, but they'll be interested to find it when they're calling you. Mm-hmm. So I would focus on the category that you fit in: magician, stage, close-up, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to market, and your name, the biggest things on that business card.
Yeah, and probably if you're going to throw not clip art per se, but associated graphics on there.
Right.
Don't do a top hat, wand, and rabbit, unless that's your signature piece that you do. But
you'd have to be a really good designer to include those without it making it look cheesy. So just steer away from it.
Yeah, but so I just there's playing card stuff on mine, because you're seeing me do close-up magic most likely when you get this thing. Or I've done card stuff, and I think cards relate with me. A little generic, I guess. But I've chosen specific images. I've recolored them myself so they look graphically interesting and everything like that. But I do know like there's some people, like going back to Scott Boyd, he has really adapted Tiny Plunger into a full stage routine.
That's great.
And I think that plunger is almost like that's his scepter now.
Right.
Right. And I think he could take advantage of that in his branding or something like that.
Does he have a promo shot with it?
I don't know. That's a great question. That'd be something we should talk about on the future show too, is promo shots and how to take a good one, right?
That's definitely a great idea. And websites. These are all great topics for magicians, because like, what do you have to include in yourself to market yourself? You got to have a business card and a website and a video.
And if you have the business card, you got to have the website.
Yep.
Or it's pointless.
Yeah.
Because really you're just most people I find, because the business card is kept for years on end. I was contacted by someone just recently, 2 years ago they have a business card. And they still contacted me. So that's pretty remarkable. But I know people usually will go through my website to contact me through email now. And I don't always get a direct call of like, hey, are you available this weekend? A lot of people are doing email now, I think. And they like to communicate, because I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, why is it easier just to chat to multiple? Because you can hold multiple conversations at once. It gives you a quick second to think about it and reply. Instead of when you're on the phone, you have to dedicate, like what we're doing right now, we're dedicated to each other talking.
Right.
So, like, if I were to pick up the phone, I'm going to kill this conversation, do that, and what's that again?
Right.
But when you're chatting or there's email, you see that history and you're like, oh, that's what, okay. And you can respond pretty quickly. And
it's all about multitasking in 2019.
Yeah.
It's handy. I feel like I'm sure a lot of magicians probably have their own Facebook page.
Right.
Do they connect with people like through the messaging? Is that something that they allow? I would be curious to know whatever the people do. I don't have like the people can message, of course, but you can have it so they can direct message in, and it's promoted heavily by Facebook that, contact me today. Do you do any of that?
I don't. I wonder if I should be. I feel like I should maybe. Know. I wonder if it depends on the industry of magic you're in. I mean, you're doing touring shows and cruise ships, so you're not going to really get. I think if you're a party magician, maybe.
Right.
You're doing kid shows.
Accessibility.
You want to have that instant communication with, who's going to book the party. Most likely a mom or a dad.
I figure if your goal is just to be as accessible as possible.
Right. Yeah.
It just is, any way, shape, or form that suits your marketing style. Because everyone's going to be different. And I believe the best where to place to focus is the skill set that you have that's best.
Right.
Don't just imagine all of a sudden you're going to be amazing person sales on the phone.
Yeah.
Overnight. It's a tough game. Sales is tough. And did you read any sales books? Do you follow any sales people how do you approach that?
Well, because I've been diving into this recently, newish, right? Like I've always done magic and I've always performed shows, but I've recently gone like more full time into this, and this is like what I do. So I've had to tackle all these business things. I'm a podcast guy, so I'll do podcasts sometimes. And I don't know the names of these podcasts because I just dip into episodes. I know Variety Artist Podcast.
Right.
Has some great insight information on there.
Yep.
Discourse and Magic.
John Abrams.
Yeah, John Abrams.
Yep.
Jonah's podcast, Discourse and Magic, has great guests. There, like a couple years ago, Chris Shepard had Successful Performer podcast.
That was great, yep.
Which had really great interviews on there and everything.
And The Magic Word. Scott Wells.
Yeah. All those are great episodes that, that's all the information you need, really.
Yep. What does everybody listen to? What do you guys listen to? What podcasts? I have a couple other ones that I listen to, but businessy wise, they're usually short. There's a couple ones I listen to just for fun, the history ones, and I won't ramble about those. But Neil Patel seems to have some really great things that I follow. It's really short size, usually SEO based. Mm-hmm. There's really great marketing stuff there, but that's not in the magician's world. It's more on just content.
Right.
We really have to have a lot of tools in the kit, don't we?
Yeah, and there's guys starting up all these these micro Facebook groups on specific, unique.
Oh, that's great.
Avenues. So I know this guy Mitch Zeltzer. He's doing this party planning think tank. So kids entertainers, a lot of character
dialogue back and forth. Everyone's talking about the same.
Yeah, everyone's in the same market. And then also Danny Orleans has started trade show performer group. So he's starting a course on trade show performance and everything. But all these groups, I think they're important to join because there's so many little, just like magic, right? You read all the magic books because you might find that little nugget of information that you didn't know about before that you could apply to some other trick. Mm-hmm. All these groups have different business tactics. And we're all of us magicians, especially today, are all representing ourselves differently. And we have different shows that we do. And some guys might just be a wedding guy. I do a lot of things, I guess. So you learn a lot of these different tactics and they totally apply across the board.
Yeah, you can apply them to promoting the show, promoting yourself, promoting events. That's the thing is once you know the skill sets, it is something you can use anywhere.
Right. I even spent a little bit of time analyzing like a Shopify store.
Oh, yeah.
Like when the Shopify kick kind of happened and figuring out that. And there's a lot of guys on YouTube that just talk Shopify. A lot of it's jive, but you can learn these advertising techniques and maybe not do them as skeezy. But do it for realsies. And you'll actually see benefits. And it's just natural stuff, like simple things like returning comments and replying to comments and things.
That's something that I'm dealing with that we should feature on a future episode. Right, yeah. Because I'm going viral and I'm getting all these comments and some of them are nice.
Yeah. So
some of them.
So since you've been going viral, you must be experiencing negative comments a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so how do you deal with it? And so to the topic at hand is I'm trying to respond to some of them.
Right.
But I've got a service called TubeBuddy and it allows you to have written responses. And so I just sat there and wrote a couple like generic, I'm sorry you didn't like it, kind of like basic, just make it simple and brush them off kind of a thing. Because I read something that I thought was good advice about how to deal with negative comments, and that was reply to them. And if they reply back to you, then they're trolling.
Right. Oh, that's a good point. That makes sense. Because if you responded and you responded nicely, if they're a real deal person, they're going to, they'll just be like, oh, I feel a little bad maybe.
Right.
Right.
So that changed everything. I thought that was a good way to look at negative comments. I'll pluck some of my favorite ones out for future. We'll sift through this
as they kind of pool in.
As
they pool in.
They don't affect me at all. Like that me is a different me than like I have no sensitive ego on that front. Like
right. Well, it's the idea of the performer that good comments and bad comments just don't really take them in. I mean, you're your best editor in anything like that.
It's crucial to take in feedback, of course. If you see that every single comment says the same thing and it's weighted in a certain direction, of course, take that, advice. But advice taking is its own art.
Yeah.
Because everyone is so free to give it, right? But nobody has actually backing and experience to justify a lot of their words usually. So always trust who you're taking your advice from. Don't just open it. I made that mistake early on. I asked everybody for their advice.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, everybody. And after shows, just, oh, yeah, what didn't you like? Except, but really it boiled down to only a handful of people that I actually trusted what they had to say. I listened to. But, I mean, you have to listen to people's advice. You have to at least be willing to accept it. Otherwise, you'll just forever be that one single place in time.
I think I'm complete opposite because I remember I was always like, I guess, nervous and afraid to present magic, especially in front of other magicians. And then with like shows like Newest Trick in the Book, they gave some opportunities so I could go perform in front of like real magicians and things like that. And then you start to share more. And I think it's important to have a close group, a circle of friends in the same industry that you're in so you can share ideas. But maybe I find I still don't always ask for advice, but I know like sometimes you'll just tell me something,
which is also bad.
No, it's good. But like when you'll notice something, you let me know. That means it's important because you brought it up.
Right.
Or Peter Menny will do the same thing. Right. And all the guys we perform with all the time.
Right. We have a friendship that we understand. It's a safe space to give advice at any point. Right. Totally. Right. Yeah, because I mean it's important. You've got to grow and you've got to accept that, and it's hard to swallow advice sometimes.
Yeah, because I mean these are all the people that see you on the outside, but that's why advice is a little bit helpful because
right, you're emotionally attached to it.
Yeah, and sometimes we're trying to be something that we're not. So
yeah, and you can't see that when you're looking through the scope of your own eyes. You have to really have a second opinion from someone that isn't emotionally connected to it. Mm-hmm. And my buddy Tim Drake was that person. He was always the one that I would go and still do go to for like, we call it a water bottle moment. And he has a specific story about it, but it was essentially some silly task that I was contemplating, which was ridiculous. And he hit me over the head with an empty water bottle. But it was so appropriately done where it was like on the lean in and everything. And then it was, so we call those moments water bottle moments.
Right.
And sometimes you need those because we're so in our own little world of dream-like fantasy and illusion. I don't know.
Well, I've been doing this, I produce a full pint of beer from a paper bag upside down. And that trick didn't start like that. It started off as a danger trick, a danger stunt. But like through advice from you and conversations with you, it changed because we went on tour together and I got to perform it a bunch. Yep. And that trick has changed so much.
Yeah, it's great.
So it started off with 2 bags and it was like a psychological force thing.
Right.
And now it's just a fun little...
It's an opener. And we should talk about openers as well in the future because that's now yours. That's your bit, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that's really great, and it's fun to see it progress. The little detail you had this last week was nice. That's another maybe conversation we've got to have about ethics of magic, because relating even back to what you said, we're in just a few moments ago, we're in this weird spot with magic where ethics has always been so guarded. Like everyone's been so afraid to show their own work.
Right.
Because there's so much theft of ideas. And now we're in this space where we're living in a world that's all about sharing. Everything is shared.
Well, I think there's a unique thing now where people know who, because there's so much sharing now, people know who the originator was, maybe.
Right.
So a small group of people will attack the other people that copy it.
Right.
I know Wes Barker talks about this. He just records his stage show and will release it in small little segments online, because why not? You really want people to see your stuff.
Right.
So, which is so smart. Like, he gets it.
Yeah, I still fear this immensely. Things, especially like the Hypno show, like I have that out there pretty much in full entirety, except the beginning part, the induction and things, mainly because it's not interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, there's no pizzazz in the induction, but the magic show I don't, because I've got a couple of elements in there that are unique to me, and I don't want them to be taken.
Yeah.
So I feel that pain.
But at the same time, would you ever release these things and then create something new and then let that one go? You know what I mean?
There's definitely that side of it for sure.
I've also always faced, because I always did close to magic, and then I started doing comedy clubs to get work on stage, right? That's how I get my stage time in.
Yeah.
And it is the weirdest bit of business. I remember first going up in the comedy club doing like a purchased routine,
Yeah.
and you feel gross because you know everybody there, or you're assuming everybody there has written their own material and created their own stuff. I don't know if they're copying. You never know that stuff, but you're in that environment where everyone is really trying to be their own and create their own voice and everything. So I think it's so weird when you see a routine and it's being advertised, has the perfect script, right? Like, that's not
complete. That
shouldn't be the selling point. It's the script. It should be the effect and like the journey of the story of the effect, and make your own script for these things. I mean, like, when you're first starting your magic, copy the script. Get the muscle, build the muscle, but you really, if you're going to start presenting yourself in the public, you have to...
It's true. You've got to have your own voice. Otherwise, you'll just be your competitor.
Right.
And so the only way to be unique is to be you. And it's hard at first, like you said, because at the beginning, it's all about, like, there's technique involved with this reality that you've got to entertain a whole group of people. And that's a lot of mental space. So at the beginning, it's just about being effective at doing the magician task.
For you, though, like, you just dove right in, didn't you?
Yeah, but I mean, at the beginning, it was so terrible, right? I mean, we all are. And it was just about the flight time. I just happened to get a chance to be able to do a big show, an hour and a half. I got a chance to do it a lot. Mm-hmm. And so that ultimately led to where I am at now, which is I essentially have a 45-minute solo show that I do a lot. But at the beginning, it was really just, it was a full production. We had to think about intermission, and there was 2 dancers and lighting and audio, and that world doesn't exist anymore. But it helped prepare for a little bit more of what's current, which is about living out of a suitcase. Create magic to wow as big as possible, but be as travel friendly. I think the goal now is in magic, isn't it? With those fancy business cards we printed Vistaprint.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Do we get a discount at Vistaprint now because we plugged them so much?
I think we should. But
we should, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, an extra 20% off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to think about those things too, because like show giveaways, I loved all that stuff. Anything branded that you could give away that was, a souvenir.
Right. Well, I started adding these kind of cards into my show.
Yeah.
For mind reading, instead of using the clipboard with just paper, and I use the show cards with my show logo on it or whatever, just my name. And that's a good giveaway. Yeah. Right. It's right from the show, and it's the prediction thing, so it all fits in. I think that's fun. Yeah. And with Close to Magic, we talked about it too, souvenir tricks on the previous episode.
That's right.
It's always important to give away those giveaways and things, right?
Yeah, that's something that they'll leave, and you're guaranteed that they'll talk about you.
Yeah,
that's what the souvenir does.
I even use the line all the time. It looks really great on a fridge.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. Yeah, they're gonna steal it.
Yeah, someone's gonna steal it.
We need to have a talk about ethics.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty good roundup of all sorts of discussions, I think, for this episode. What would you say?
Yeah, I think that's a solid week in Magicians Talking Magic, right?
And next one we'll talk about websites. That's a topic all on its own. We might have to take a couple topics for these.
Websites, maybe openers or something?
Openers would be good. Yeah, Magic News will keep you up to date. So,
and if you guys think of anything that you want to hear us talk about, right? If something's pressing or you want to get our perspective on it, comment and let us know. Email us, DM us, phone us. telepathy.
I just said, my name is Ryan Joyce.
And I said, my name is Graeme.
We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of Magicians Talking Magic. It's been a blast being here with you. My name is Ryan Joyce. Don't forget, we have all of the links and videos and resources available on the show page, which is at magic-masterclass.com. This week is a big week. This is Magic Live happening. I'm not able to go this year, but last year I attended, and I got a chance to chat with a great number of magicians from Franz Ferrari, Gabe Blackstone, David Penn, Lawrence Haas, Matt King, and Richard Wiseman. I asked them all one question, and that is, should magic be considered art? Their answers and responses in video form are posted at my personal blog, ryanjoyce.com, so go check those out. I think you'll find some of their responses interesting. Franz Ferrari, for me, was definitely the most fascinating and the most poignant, so I'd love to see what you think. Let me know your responses in the comments. All right, lots to come on the next episode. We'll be releasing next Friday, so stay tuned. This has been Ryan Joyce for Magicians Talking Magic. Stay magical.